Top United States Air Force crashes in Australia in World War II. In World War II, Australia was a major Allied base for all branches of the military in the fight against Japan in the Pacific. The USAAF had about 30 airfields in Australia, some already existing, and some built by Australians and Americans specifically for the war. There were many crashes of USAAF aircraft in Australia, some transporting personnel and equipment, some involved in training or testing, and others en route to or from combat missions. In this video we look at the top 8 deadliest crashes, 7 transports and 1 involved in testing. (1) Crash of Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress at Bakers Creek, near Mackay Airfield, Queensland, 40 killed. The 14th of June, 1943, 0600 local time. YBMK Mackay Airport, Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft. Default scenery, freeware aircraft. The aircraft departed Mackay in fog just before 6 a.m. for Papua New Guinea with a crew of 6 and 35 passengers who had just finished R&R. After takeoff, the captain made a low pass over the airfield for those on the ground to wave goodbye. During a turn, the aircraft stalled and crashed in a huge explosion about 1 kilometer from the airfield. 1 passenger was seriously injured, and 40 others were killed. The exact cause is not known, possibly an engine failure. It remains Australia's deadliest aircraft crash. 2. Crash of Douglas C-47, DC-3, at Canal Creek near Rockhampton Airfield, Queensland, 31 killed. The 19th of December, 1943, 0920 local time. YBTL Townsville Airport, Douglas C-47, DC-3, aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. The aircraft left Townsville-Gabut Airfield at 7:10 a.m. for a flight to Brisbane, with an intermediate stop at Rockhampton. En route, possibly descending to Rockhampton, and at 3,000 to 4,000 feet, the aircraft exploded, disintegrated, and crashed in a wooded area. All 31 occupants, 4 crew, and 27 passengers going on R&R, Australians and Americans, were killed. It remains the deadliest accident involving a USAAF C-47. The exact cause is not known, possibly an engine fire. 3. Crash of Douglas C-47, DC-3, in Cleveland Bay, near Townsville Airfield, Queensland, 27 killed. The 7th of August, 1943, 0520 local time. YBTL Townsville Airport, Douglas C-47, DC-3, aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. The aircraft left Townsville-Gabut Airfield at 5 a.m., bound initially for Brisbane Archerfield, and then Sydney for personnel R&R. Minutes later, while climbing at night, the aircraft crashed into Cleveland Bay, a few miles offshore. No survivor was found among the 27 occupants, for crew and 23 passengers. Cause of the crash was not determined. 4. Crash of Consolidated B-24 Liberator in Bay of Broome near Broome Airfield, Western Australia, 20 killed. The 3rd of March, 1942, 0923 local time. YBRM Broome Airport. Consolidated B-24 Liberator aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. Shortly after takeoff from Broome, at a height of 600 foot, the aircraft was shot down by a Japanese fighter and crashed into the sea. The fuselage sank within 3 minutes. 2 passengers swam to shore, but 1 died the next day. The crew of 2 and the other 18 passengers were killed. Most of the passengers were injured soldiers from Java being evacuated to Perth. 5. Crash of Douglas C-47, DC-3, near Rewan, Queensland, 19 killed. The 16th of November, 1943, 1500 local time. YCCY Cloncurry Airport. Douglas C-47, DC-3 aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. The aircraft departed Batchelor Airfield in the Northern Territory for Brisbane, with intermediate stops including here at Cloncurry. The aircraft arrived at Cloncurry at 12:45 p.m. and departed shortly after. En route from Cloncurry, in a thunderstorm area, the aircraft broke up in mid-air and crashed at Rewan. All 19 occupants were killed, Australians and Americans, for crew, and 15 passengers going to Brisbane for R&R. Six. Crash of Douglas C-47, DC-3, near Monto, Queensland, 13 killed. The 21st of November, 1943. YBRK Rockhampton Airfield. Douglas C-47, DC-3 aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. The aircraft departed Rockhampton after flying in from Papua New Guinea on its way to Brisbane. Stormy weather, the aircraft broke up and crashed in a canyon. 5 years later, in 1948, a local found the wreckage in a steep wooded gully. Other pieces of the aircraft, away from the main wreckage, were found in 1961 and 1991. All 13 on board were killed, Australians and Americans, for crew and 9 passengers. 7. Crash of consolidated B-24 Liberator on Mount Stralock, Queensland, 12 killed. The 18th of December, 1942. YBTL Townsville Airport. Consolidated B-24 Liberator aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. The new aircraft, destined for combat in Papua New Guinea, along with 5 others, departed Garbud Airfield, Townsville, at 0815 local time, bound for a stopover at Iron Range. While cruising at an altitude of 3,000 feet above Hinchinbrook Island, in stormy weather, the aircraft impacted the south slope of Mount Stralock. All 12 occupants, 5 crew and 7 passengers were killed. The wreckage was found by locals a year later in 1943. 8. Crash of Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress in Sea off Cairns, Queensland, 11 killed. The 16th of August, 1942. YMBA Mariba Airport. Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft. Freeware scenery and aircraft. Departing Mariba, the crew engaged in a test flight of a new flare dropping mechanism. A failure occurred on the test mechanism, causing flares to explode inside the aircraft. Out of control, the airplane crashed into the sea a mile off Cairns. All 11 crew were killed. USAAF crashes in Australia in World War II. As well as the 8 crashes covered in this video, there were another 4 heavy aircraft crashes where 10 personnel were killed in each. Also, there were 20 more heavy aircraft crashes with single-digit deaths in each, that is, 1 to 9, and at least 30 more heavy aircraft crashes where there were no deaths but numerous injuries. The number of smaller fighter aircraft crashes is unknown. Thanks for watching.